Shakur Stevenson misses weight against Robson Conceição and loses his WBC and WBO titles on the scales. But he also gives his big announcement early. Before we get into this next video, make sure that y'all hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. So what's happening with it, y'all? So Shakur Stevenson, the other day he did an interview and he said that he was going to give a big announcement. Well, that big announcement has come early. Today, in the weigh-in versus Robson Conceição, Shakur Stevenson did not make weight. He was supposed to weigh in at 130 pounds and he weighed in 1.6 pounds over at 131.6. Shakur Stevenson had a choice to try to go make weight. You know, he had about 2 hours to try to make the weight and get the extra 1.6 pounds off, but he decided that he didn't want to because Shakur already knew that he wasn't going to be able to make 130 pounds anymore. Shakur Stevenson does lose his belts on the scale, you know, his WBC and the WBO belts. And Robson Conceição can win those belts if he beats Shakur Stevenson, but Shakur Stevenson cannot retain his titles. But like I said before on my live yesterday, Shakur Stevenson was going to announce that he's moving up to 135 anyway. You feel what I'm saying? So Shakur put out a statement and he just basically said, I tried everything I could to make 130, but my health is more important and I couldn't make 130 pounds and I will be moving up to 135. Now, I've been saying for the longest, I don't see how Shakur Stevenson makes 130 pounds. He's too big for the weight division. You know, he's about 5'8" and he's wide. Like you could look at Shakur and tell that I don't know how he makes 130 pounds. And the long-awaited, right, arrival to 135 is finally coming. And I still see Shakur Stevenson beating Robson Conceição on Friday night. He's just a better all-around fighter. Now, don't get me wrong. Robson Conceição can box his ass off. He's a hell of a fighter. This is probably the toughest fight that Shakur Stevenson has had in his whole entire career. You could say Robson Conceição or Oscar Valdez. But Oscar Valdez and Robson Conceição are two totally different type of fighters. Robson Conceição is a technical fighter, you know, with power. And Oscar Valdez is more of a pressure fighter, you know what I'm saying, with power. But like I said, I think this is a more difficult style for Shakur Stevenson. But Shakur Stevenson, he gonna go in there and he gonna get the job done. And afterwards, he gonna let the world know that he's moving up to 135. Also, I was hearing behind the scenes that Shakur Stevenson was having a hard time making the weight. He was having a very hard time making the weight throughout training camp, and it got to a point to where he realized he just wasn't going to be able to make weight. That's why if y'all were watching the weigh-ins, they gave Shakur Stevenson the ability to go ahead and strip down butt naked and make the weight, and he told him, nah, I'm good. I ain't even finna do all of that. You know, I already tried. I know I can't make the weight. So yeah, I don't know if this has something to do with him having, you know, the fight in his hometown and maybe indulging a little bit more than he usually does. But whatever it is, you know, he was going to move up to 135 regardless. So we should be able to see the big fights that we want to see. We already know that Shakur Stevenson said that he's willing to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney said that he's willing to fight Shakur Stevenson, but I don't see that fight happening because I know that Devin Haney has his eyes set on 140 pounds. He got 2 fights left at 135, and those fights are pretty much already set. You got the rematch with George Kambosos in October, and then after that, you got Vasyl Lomachenko. After that, you know, Devin Haney and his pops, they let it be known that they gonna move up. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for Devin Haney to make 135. But down the line, eventually, that's a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing. Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, they got, you know, a history. They are cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? They both respect each other a whole hell of a lot. But they gonna get it on down the line. And they know they gonna get it on down the line. Also at 135, you got Gervonta Davis. That's the fight that people really want to see, a Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. Make that happen. I don't know what Gervonta Davis' situation is over there on Showtime and TMT. It'll be a very hard fight to, make happen. But I think that they can make it happen because this is a pay-per-view fight. Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, it's a big enough fight to have a split pay-per-view with ESPN and Showtime. You know what I'm saying? You can split it. Of course, Tank Davis will get the lion's share of the pot, but it's a big enough fight to do that. And that's a fight that the whole world want to see. And I got Shakur Stevenson beating Tank Davis. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got Shakur Stevenson beating everybody at 135 if he move up to 135. So it's a lot of smoke at 135 for Shakur Stevenson. And yeah, everybody been waiting for him to move up, and the time has come. Also, Shakur Stevenson wanted to let everybody know, hey, through my whole career, I've been professional. I just couldn't make the weight. My health is more important. And we haven't never seen any unprofessionalism off of Shakur Stevenson. So I'm not going to get on his helmet that hard, Hey, I do expect the fighter to make their contracted weight. And it does show some unprofessionalism if they can't make their contracted weight. But like I said, Shakur Stevenson, he don't have a history of this. He's always made weight, and you can look at him and tell he's just outgrown the weight division. He's just too big. You know what I'm talking about? He's just too big. But he still has to go out there tomorrow night, and he still has to show out. Robson Conceição ain't no punk. The man can fight. He's a top level fighter. And Shakur Stevenson, he can't go out there weight drained, because he gonna have to be all he can be to beat Robson Conceição. You know what I'm talking about? So I think Shakur Stevenson made the right move. He made the smart move. Instead of trying to get the extra 1.6 pounds off, draining your body, putting your health at risk, maybe having to go in there at 50% instead of going in there, close to 100% against Robson Conceição. He made that decision. It's a smart decision. You know what? I'm moving up anyway, so I'm not gonna put my body under any more distress than I have to. I'm just gonna go ahead and move up. And so that's the decision that he made. You know what I'm talking about? But once again, Shakur Stevenson loses his WBC and WBO titles on the scales. And it's time for him to move up, and he has announced that he will be moving up to 135. Y'all make sure that y'all hit my like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, sub to the channel, and comment and let me know what y'all think.